bands, new hundreds, new friends, new money, new bands, new hundreds.
Yo, Kyle, this shit crazy.
Friends, whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah to new friends, whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah to new friends, whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah to new friends, whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Yeah, my day ones know I post up, so just come through. If you say nothing, you glow up, she can come too. Can't say nothing when he choked up, so just cut him loose. We stay calm when we froze up, that's what diamonds do. Yeah, new island, stay coasting. Can't find it, stay ghosting. My silence is smoking, outshining the ghosting. Headlining the show then, reclining my throne and fine dining, you know it. Deep diving that, whoa, I'm the ruler, I'm known. All of my shooters stay closed, all of my jewelry cold, all of my Ubers are dope. Lex Luthor, my role model, one queen and I throw models. So wet that I need goggles, all business and no drama. Cause all I really need is people comers. And all these lobies niggas this time. Cause all you niggas dogs no colors. So don't apologize, why? You see them zero nigga just holler. Cause I'm the zero nigga just holler. You just holler. Praying for my downfall, waiting for my downfall. Hell nah, the new friends, they praying for my downfall. Hell nah, the new friends. Said hell nah, the new friends. Whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah to new friends, whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah to new friends. Whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah to new friends, whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Said what you want, let me know, I'ma throw you bone, then watch you go. You didn't even believe in this shit, you tried it once and then you choke. Cause y'all stay sleeping, I stay woke. Making racks and y'all still broke. Sipping on that Henny Coke, y'all laughing, I ain't telling jokes. That's real talk and that time that's ticking, that's real clock. You heard that clipping, that's real Glock. Your life is slipping, that's real shock. My wrist is dripping, that's real watch. My crew stay whipping, that's real mock. My clothes stay dripping, that's real swatch. If you ain't gonna dip, you can still watch, that's real talk, my nigga, Like Afro Man wrote a Coupe de Ville, my nigga, Like Sam Crow, but I'm real grim, my nigga, All this cash flow, but I can't swim, my nigga, Out in Buffalo, let's meet at 10s, my nigga, Whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah, the new friends. Whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah, the new friends. Waiting for my downfall, waiting for my downfall. Hell nah, the new friends, they praying for my downfall. Hell nah, the new friends. Hell nah, the new friends. Whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah, the new friends. Whole lot of new money, whole lot of new bands, all kinda new hundreds. Hell nah, the new friends. Praying for my downfall, waiting for my downfall. Hell nah, the new friends. They praying for my downfall. Hell nah, the new friends. Said hell nah, the new friends. Man, it's too early in the morning for this shit. But let's get it. Yeah. Ayy, all of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on they chin. Like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is gray. I'm dropping slappers to hell with an album. Might fuck around and go see Jimmy Fallon. I multiply while you bury your talents. Cause I'm like a hawk when I bury my talents. Guess what I'm saying? I pray on these niggas. There was a day when I'd pray for these niggas. Now I got nothing to say to these niggas. I pray that God does away with these niggas. I keep my friends close, but my enemies close. so my mental is gross, but my verses are kosher. These girls going wild, but I'm not a poacher, so he's heating up like Elon, I'm solar. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on they chin like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green. Gotta make this money, only game I know. I'm the only king, this ain't no Game of Thrones. Everybody wanna be a fucking king until it's time to do what a king does. Everywhere I look, it's just kids and drugs. Everywhere I look, it's just gangs and thugs. Can't tame the guns, can't save our loved ones. I grew my funds and I called the plug. Then I filled my lungs, I don't mess with that new shit. Y'all talking tough, but ain't none of y'all do shit. Y'all chasing money, you want the exposure. Y'all think y'all funny and snake Gucci loafers. I don't give disclaimers, I rap full disclosure. These niggas all think they were born in October. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have stacks on plus stacks when I'm older. Stacks when I'm older. Yeah, stacks when I'm older. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have millions in cash when I'm older. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on they chin like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green.
Swole Norman.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and yo-hos? It's your boy Papa Swole back with another episode, and today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everesting K2, flexing on all you beasts. All right, fam, today we got a special Swole card. It is I Heart Cow Farts. I love cow farts, and I think if you love beef, you love those cow farts do. We know the vegan tards are going to say that cow farts are destroying the environment. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Are cow farts really destroying the environment? No. You know what is probably destroying the environment? Human farts. Human farts are meaning too much Taco Bell. So stop eating poison. Go get yourself some steak. Go get yourself some beef. And join the fam over at SwolleNormusX.com. We have some new drops. We got some new stuff that we're going to announce during today's episode. We'll take some live questions. We got some Swole fan posts, so let's jump right into it. Last week, I think this was last week. Man, we're always dropping new stuff. But last week, we had some epic releases. Let's kind of like recap for those of you that might not have caught the episodes. We have, let's see here. Trying to scroll through some of these images. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Well, forget that. Let's just jump. All right. Well, forget that. We'll just get into the new releases. But we have new zip hoodies. We got new fanny packs. We got a bunch of new stuff. We got new actual merch items over there at papaswolio.com. So make sure you go and check that out. Let's get into the first responses. Accountability post for this week from the Swole fan. Sent out a Swole text this morning asking you what you're working on this week. Give me some details and let's share. And you could drop it if you haven't answered yet. Drop in the comments down below in the live stream what you are working on this week. And we will also take some questions as they come up. So you could drop your questions in the comments now. Hashtag AskPapaSwole. We'll get to those shortly. Alex says, I'm going on a road trip to Chicago this week. So my goal in terms of health and fitness are to eat real food, do what I can for a workout at the hotel gym, walk around and explore places, and hopefully get some halfway decent sleep. And most importantly, have a good time. Well, good for you. Enjoy Chirac. Mark, give him some tips as to how to not die while you're visiting Chicago. Why is my stuff freaking out here? Oh, maybe we're not going to be able to cycle through questions today. All right, let me figure this out. We're just going to chill for a little bit. You could drop your questions in the comments. We might have to restart. I think I left these windows open overnight. That's why it's a little bit fagged out. Yeah, let's restart this. We might have to restart. Let me see. I might have to restart everything. So we'll see if this is going to work today. I didn't scroll through and test it first. All right. Yeah, we might restart the show. Let me force quit. Sweet. We thank you for your patience. Let's see if I can reopen them. Sweet. Yeah, perfect. Now it works. Sometimes just gotta quit the app and then pop it back open. James says, consistently, this is the fourth time I've started, or consistency, this is the fourth time I've started the 90-day dash and drifted off for one reason or another. I'm committing to finishing the entire 12-week program and selecting a follow-up. It's finally time for me to lose the gut. To help me accomplish this, I'm putting daily calendar notifications on my phone, focusing on finishing my workout for the day first thing in the morning so I don't skip it, taking a few minutes every day to do brain gains and remind myself why I'm doing it. And finally, ask myself before anything I eat, what is this food accomplishing for me? Smart man. Leslie says, improving my community, spending the whole week with the husband and kids, downtown at the beach, or down at the beach. No work, no drama, no stress. Good for you. What's PCB? What beach is that? What's that acronym? What's PCB? Good for you. Enjoy. What beach is that? Michelle says, yo, beach, focusing on getting that one more rep during my working set. Week 3 of Maximum Swole. Awesome. Mike says, traveling this week, focusing on the small things, making sure to go to the fucking gym before my kid wakes up, staying hydrated, and focusing on protein as much as possible. Riley says, brain gains. I feel I have been a little all over the place with multiple people, just trying to buy my attention. I want to commit to doing 5 minutes of brain gains in the morning and 5 in the evening to have that time set aside for me. Right. It's the quality, not the quantity of the brain gains. Even just doing 5 minutes twice a day is probably better than doing 10 minutes once a day, to be honest. But they both work. Vasco says, hey, Papa Swolio, I've already built the habit of going to the fucking gym every day. So now I'm focusing on optimizing quality and purpose of my workouts. This week, I'm being extra mindful of form, tempo, and muscle engagement, not just getting through the reps. I've started logging how I feel after each lift, checking recovery, and adjusting weights based on performance for optimal progressive overload. My goal is to train smarter, not just harder. That's what she said. And we got one more. We got a question. So we're going to jump into questions now. You could drop your questions in the comments below if you're watching on Instagram Live. We got all the soundboards and the visuals over there on the Daily Swole podcast on Rumble and YouTube. You could also catch it on Apple Podcast and Spotify and subscribe to the show. Today is episode 3,363. Vasco says, hey fam, just wrapped up studying the ankle, knee, and hip mobility masterclasses and noticed some overlap. Indeed there is. I'm building a routine and wanted a quick sanity check. In ankle mobility, there are low lunges. In knee mobility, standing lunges. Are these interchangeable or should both be included? Well, that depends. You could regress them. You can elevate your foot or lower it depending on your ability. So start with your foot elevated and then progress to level lunges. You want to get the knees over your toes. Also, for standing hamstring curls with the monkey foot, is it the same as the gym machine's seated/lying leg curls? Just trying to avoid unnecessary redundancy. Appreciate any feedback. The standing knee curls and the hip flexor work with the monkey foot is designed for mobility purposes and training the hamstrings from the shortened position. So I would recommend, if you don't have the monkey foot, I would do a prone leg curl, just single leg, light, nice and controlled. So that'd be the closest proximity to that. So it's not the same, but it's the closest thing that you would get to the standing single leg curl. So that could be a single leg prone leg curl, can be part of your mobility and hamstring activation. So good stuff. I'm glad you went through those. Those are great protocols. So good stuff. Excellent. All right, let's get into some questions now. Appreciate you guys dropping the comments down below. #AskPapaSwolio. And of course, live on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. Hit the like button, subscribe, and also check out the latest YouTube videos on the Swolenormous channel on YouTube. Been posting twice a week, so going to keep up with that. Make sure that you go subscribe over there and leave your comments. Last week was about the Jennifer Love Hewitt. The new movie came out, and people were calling her fat or fit, this, that, and the other. So just kind of discuss that, and people are likely to get offended, which was fun. It's always fun to see retards in the comments leaving insane shit. So go and comment over there. Sterling on Rumble. Papa Swolio, when doing lat pull downs, I feel it a lot in my arms than my back. I am being keen to focus on form. Perhaps my arms are lagging behind, or is it something with form? It's probably something form related. Are you using wrist wraps? You should be. Doing pull downs without wrist wraps is like doing pull downs without wrist wraps is like using the pull out method. It works for the most part, but it's not as good as it could be, right? If you don't want to get pregnant, abstinence is the only answer, right? You could pull out, it works. The method works. Tracking your cycle, it works, but sometimes you slip one past the goalie. So use your wrist wraps. When you're doing lat pull downs also, you don't want for most pull down machines, you don't want the pad. You don't want to be all the way into the pad. If you're freehanding it, you need wraps. Get wrist wraps. You're losing gains. You don't want the pads up on your hip. You want it lower towards your knees. And you don't want to lean back too much and arch your back. If you lean back and arch your back, you're getting more of an upper back row. So you want to kind of like round your back and pull like this to the front. You want to pull like this to the front, leaning back. You don't want to be like this. Arching your back for a lat pull down is the worst. So another good cue is to, even with your wrist wraps, when you're holding the bar, rounding your back, leaning back, and kind of trying to supinate your wrists. Try to twist your hands out, because that'll keep your elbows more to the front. So that's a better way to do it. Lat pull downs are great. You get wraps and you use those couple tweaks, you're going to see a lot of difference. Maybe I'll do some sort of like a masterclass on that. I don't know if we have a lat pull down. We do have some stuff, but maybe like a more updated discussing this kind of topic. That's a good one. All right, let's see. All right, Candyman, thank you for watching on Instagram. Drop your questions in the comments. We'll get to a few live on Instagram in a second. Candyman156, Papa Swolio, 2 questions for you. Ooh, slipping in a double. How much for you to chug a tuna shake on stream? If you eat chips, what are your favorite kind to eat? Well, how much to chug a tuna shake? You can't afford it. Let's put it that way. I'd actually consider it if you pay me in Bitcoin. But don't try to send fiat my way and think I'm going to chug a tuna shake. So I would say A million sats, I do it. I do it for a million sats. I don't know. That's tough. I don't know. It's worth it. Depends on what's in it and how much. You got to be more specific. Let's see. If I eat chips, get ones that are used with beef tallow or coconut oil, and you can use like cassava chips. There's some good cassava chips out there, or masa chips. They're made with beef tallow. So there are a couple of good ones out there. And sometimes we'll do that if we have some sort of like avocado dip or something that it would apply for. Okay. Michelle, Papa Soy, how much of a difference does hand grip make? Good question. For example, overhand grip versus underhand grip versus neutral grip. It really does make a big difference, but it really depends on the width. Underhand grip is overrated, but it depends. It depends on how you're doing it. Are you doing it on a straight bar? Are you doing an underhand grip unilaterally? Because there are some machines like Hammer Strength that has like the option for a supinated grip. It can be more comfortable. I have a high row machine that if I hook a handle over the handle, it's more of a neutral grip. But if I hook a handle over it or around the handle, I can supinate more. So that's totally fine. What matters more than the hand grip position is the elbow and whether you have more abduction with the shoulder or adduction in terms of hitting the lats or the upper back. So that makes more of a difference. Doing things like this, close grip, high, that's stupid. Doing the close grip for like cable rows, like that's dumb. You're missing out. So the hand grip matters. Pronate, but it's more for comfort. What more matters is the upper arm. Because remember, your back has nothing to do with your bicep and your elbow. It does, but it has to do with the shoulder position. Sheena says, my husband just entered us into the world of Bitcoin after doing a lot of research. He's the financial guru of the household. Cool. Let us know if you have any questions about that. Cool. Make sure he understands cold storage and handling his own keys and all that stuff. Good stuff. You enter the world by just buying a little bit. You can buy a little bit on Cash App. You can buy on River, on Swan. Buy $100 and then start learning more about it. I tell people just to dip their toes in. You should be reading the books and learning, but learning about Bitcoin is really learning about game theory, psychology, financial markets, international politics. It really takes a long time, and no one really completely, truly understands it. It's just everything. It's very foundational truth for human nature and storage of human energy, because it's the greatest money ever created. So it takes a lifetime, and no one completely understands it. So learning, but you learn by doing something, right? We talk about it in terms of getting a degree in business management or starting a business or entrepreneurship. That's the biggest waste of money ever. You're going to spend all this money going to college to study entrepreneurship. That's the worst way to become an entrepreneur. Start a business. That's how you learn. So you'll learn more about Bitcoin by buying some and then learning along the way. Learn what you bought. And as your conviction grows and as you learn more about it, you start adjusting your allocation accordingly. So start by getting you don't learn how to swim unless you get in the fucking water. Ben Peterson, have you ever considered trying to mine it? I think it might have been a good idea to mine Bitcoin, 15 years ago. But now it's too much to get into play. You could buy these little miners, little bit miners, but the little tiny, like the desktop ones, you might win the lottery, but the chances are very small. But you can do that. You can get one of those little tiny desktop miners. For me, I just prefer just to take the $300 or $400 or whatever it costs from those miners and just buy Bitcoin with it. There are also different mining pools and companies where you can buy miners and they put them online and you pay for the rent or you pay them off. It's just, I don't know if it's really worthwhile for the average person. Plus the lead time on those ant miners are like the real professional ones. And plus the It depends on where you live. I mean, you might be able to rig something if you're off grid and you have lots of solar panels and stuff, and you could do some sort of off-grid mining. There's a lot of cool stuff when it comes to heat because these miners give off so much heat. A lot of people heat their houses with the Bitcoin miners, and it takes like 1 or 2, and they put in their basement, it heats their entire house. You can look into that. That's pretty crazy. But we don't get that kind of weather down here. So if you have access to cheap or trapped power, if you have some kind of unique situation where you have cheap energy, but most people don't. Back in the day, you used to be able to mine it off a laptop, so that was cool. Candyman, would you consider releasing challenge coins in your shop? Meaning what? What do you mean by that? We've discussed it. I would love to give the ability to pay with Bitcoin, but might be doing something where you can get Bitcoin rewards for purchasing merch. So when you purchase merch or scalp seed or main gains, you actually get some Bitcoin rewards. If you guys are interested in that, would that be cool? Would you like that? But we do have those kind of like payment rails, and internally we use Bitcoin. So challenge coins are for bars, Paulie Daddy says on Instagram. I've heard of them. I just don't really know the application. Challenge coins are a military tradition. It's a coin that is handed off to people. Meaning you just hand them off? What's the... Like, why would we do that? What's the benefit? What's the benefit for the business? What's the benefit? Just, why would it be incentivized? Why would we do that? I'm not against it. Just curious what you mean in terms of that. I've heard the term, and I've heard that in terms of like bars, but I don't know what is this like you collect it? Do you get like free stuff? Is it like money that you get to use at a bar? Or do you collect them all and just have them? And it's like, I got these. I have these things. Anahi Retiga. What made you get into fitness? Common sense and logic. And I didn't want to be a weak, skinny beach, so I started lifting. Pretty common, pretty easy. I wanted to get big. I wanted to build a muscle. I wanted to get muscular. Who doesn't want to lift? Why do you need a reason? What made you get into fitness? No one made me. Just using logic and common sense and wanting to take care of my health. And it evolved from there. Hashtag I love cow farts. I'm wearing the shirt. Today's Swole card we're giving away on Rumble. Drop in the comments. I heart cow farts. I love cow farts for a chance to win. Challenge coins are a small, custom minted medallion that symbolize membership, achievement, or affiliation with a specific group, often used in military and first responder organizations. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, well, that's true. We kind of do give them away. Speaking of Swole cards, Michelle says my challenge coins are known as Swole cards. Yeah, we kind of do that. We kind of do that already, yeah? They are more than just collectible items. They represent unity, camaraderie, and a shared experience. You ChatGPT this? Often presented to recognize outstanding performance or commemorate significant events. Yeah, so we kind of do that with Swole cards. I'm open to that. Got to figure out, then we have to mint them and figure out where they make those and this and the other. I'm open to it. Maine Marshall, Papa Soy, is Fairlife milk a higher quality milk on the shelf compared to the typical milk? Fairlife advertises ultra filtered, more protein and less sugar, and it being less watered down, or is it trash? I don't use it. I've heard people mention Fairlife. Is it just like a cheaper milk? I don't know why you'd want ultra filtered. I like raw dairy. Anything aside from raw dairy, I personally wouldn't recommend. Not my bag. Raw yogurt, raw kefir, raw milk. I would recommend that personally. Let's see, Ben Peterson. I thought about setting up a small one in my classroom just to show my kids how it works, but we have an energy company monitoring us, and I don't need a visit from the Energy Maxi. Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't know how much those little, the small little, what do they call them? Is it Bitmain? Not Bitmain, that's a big company. But those little Bitaxe, right? Is that what you're talking about? The little desktop ones? I don't know how much power that would use. It might not be really, it's going to use some, but it's like a desktop miner. It might just be, I bet you put it next to like a laptop and you're like, or you run a fan. You're like, oh, it's just this fan. No one's going to know what the hell it is unless it says like Bitcoin miner. I think it'd be really cool. I think it'd be really cool. You can just look up how much power it uses. It should say on the website. Is that what you're talking about? I thought about getting one. I like it. I have a Bitcoin over here. It's not really there's no such, there's no physical unless you're getting one of those old school coins. Little Bitcoin. Nice little fake little Bitcoin thing here. I like it. Keep it over there in the corner. It's more expensive, says Maine Marshall. Lactose free as well. I mean, most people have issues with lactose because they're drinking pasteurized milk. So raw dairy actually has lactase in it, which aids in absorption. You can just use goat milk. What's your Bitcoin ticker at? It's over here. You can't see it because Rufus's bed is there. And if I slide it over, it's right. You can see it, right? You can see a little bit. What's it at? 118,000. I got to move it over here. I have to move his bed, but then his bed will hit the door. So I think I mentioned this like it's probably not a couple weeks ago, probably a month or two ago. The whole room flooded because the bathroom, like the floater in the toilet or whatever, broke. So it overflowed and the whole office was flooded. That's why there's no carpet anymore. Everything got like torn up. So we got to replace the flooring. So that's why the camera isn't moved. I just haven't redone everything because I might be moving the office. To a different room at this point because we got to redo the floors in 2 of the rooms. So what he might do is like move the stuff out, replace the floor, move other stuff into this room, replace that floor, and then move the office. So that's why the cameras and things are kind of like in between. Is that a baby on top of an elephant? It is. It is. Bartholomew baby. Martial Arts Mama says there's only one raw dairy farm near me and they are constantly sold out. You can order it online. Dutch Meadows is great. You can order it online. Alex, how do Bitcoin miners even work? I would just watch a simple like digital cartoon tutorial on YouTube. There's a lot of them. But essentially it's a code lottery that the miners constantly try to hack. When I say hack, it means just compute. So you have a lot of mining farms and stuff with like really high power output, and they're constantly, for every single block, the miners around the world, everyone that's a part of the network are different. There's mining pools. It gets complicated. I'm not an expert on it. But essentially, it's like a randomized lottery that each miner is trying to solve to get the block rewards. So miners protect the network and reinforce the network. And having a miner mining potentially allows you to win the computational lottery, essentially. And then you can get a Bitcoin reward, and you can make money. And these miners, what they do is with their block rewards, they sell it, for profits for their mining operations. And the reason why, if you are familiar with Bitcoin, there's a halving every 4 years, which means the block reward gets cut in half every 4 years. That's why there's usually, on a cyclical level, that's why there's usually a little bit of a spike every 4 years, which is kind of slowly breaking down because as we go every 4 years, the reward gets cut in half. So the amount of Bitcoin that's able to be mined every 4 years decreases. So there's a supply shock every 4 years, which is why you usually see the price ramp up like in 2013, 14. Then you had 2017, 2018 went to 20. Then you had in 2020, there was the halving, and then it kind of ramped up in 2021 when it went to like 67. And then in 2020, there was a halving. So then, did I say 2020? And then in 2024, that's why it's kind of ramping up now. But the cycle is kind of breaking down just because you have much more institutional players. So every 4 years, and as more and more players come in, supply decreases, supply decreases, supply decreases. So it's Bitcoin's math and mathematical, and most people's brains can't understand infinite scarcity. So you can't mine, you can mine more gold. So for example, the reason why gold is very manipulated, just like diamonds. And there isn't a scarcity with gold. They could just mine more. So if gold prices aren't that great, they're not going to be mining a lot of gold. If gold prices increase, they turn the miners on, they find a new mine. Hey, we found $5 trillion worth of gold in the ground. They still have to mine it, remove it. So then the price goes down because supply goes up. So they try to balance the supply in order to not crash the market. And there's gold on asteroids and X, Y, and Z. So gold isn't really as scarce as they make it believe. It's artificially scarce. But Bitcoin is absolutely scarce. There's only going to be 21 million. Think about how many people in the world. There's 7.5 billion people. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. I think there's I forget the number, 80,000. You guys can look this up. There's 80,000 or 100,000 millionaires in the world or something like that. So the amount of Bitcoin that's available for the individual person, not to mention a lot of coins are lost or are not going to move or are never going to be sold and see the market again. So most people are going to, you can still buy it on exchanges for now. Eventually you'll have to earn it. Eventually there won't be any on exchanges. But just so you guys know, it's like, oh, it's 118,000. I can't afford Bitcoin. You can buy $10 worth. $10 worth is probably 10,000 sats or something like that. So for now, you can still buy it on exchanges. So if you think you're priced out, you're not. It's still early. Bitcoin is only like 2% of like the total asset supply. Gold is 10 trillion. Bitcoin's like 2 trillion. So you're still very early. It's hard to comprehend how early you are, even though it's like, wow, for one Bitcoin, it's $118,000. Yeah, if you want to buy, that's 100,000 Satoshis, 100 million. So you could just stack, you can buy $20 a week. You can buy $20 a day. You can buy $20 a month. Just set it DCA, dollar cost average, and just withdraw it to a cold storage and learn about that. Get a hardware wallet, get a BitKey or a Ledger or a Trezor or a Cold Card, something like that. There are companies too that can do multi-sig and custodial stuff for you, but not your keys, not your coin. All right. You can take more questions. Any questions? We'll talk fitness. We'll talk Bitcoin. We'll talk bacon. No turkey bacon. No turkey bacon allowed. AJR Sec, Papa Soy. I don't feel rear delts on reverse flies. I only feel them in my tries. Is there a better workout? You're not doing them right. By the way, feeling it is not always a good proxy. So I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you would feel rear delts in your tries. Chances are you're bending your elbows and doing a tricep extension. So you're not doing you're not doing it properly. Is there a better workout? Sure. Cables, reverse pec deck, but your form matters. So what you're probably doing is you're probably doing triceps extensions and you don't realize that you're doing that. I have one from USA my ex give me, but I don't know what I can do with this. How can I sell? Can I give you to make money and help people from New Orleans? Building temple there for protection? That's a hell of a fucking question. I don't even know what the hell you're saying. You want to send me a Bitcoin? You can send me a Bitcoin. I ain't building temples in New Orleans or a temple. What? Papa Solia, I've been trying to get my bench up and I started doing reps of 3 to 5 for the past and I've hit a plateau. Please help. Why are you trying to get your bench up? I mean, you want to build muscle? How can I tell you what to do? You're doing 3 reps of 3 to 5. Help. Strength is important. You're not going to build muscle without strength, but I think bench press is one of the worst ways to build up your chest. There are better exercises than just like flat bench. Incline bench is probably better. Even a slight decline might be better. Smith machine is great. Dumbbells are great. Converging chest machines are great. John K, get up early or sleep in. Get up early. Great question. Sleep in. No, get up early. Julian. What are the most overhyped supplements that have no real impact/use? The most overhyped? Probably BCAAs. What else do you guys think is most or overhyped? An overhyped supplement. I don't want to say pre-workout, but because, stuff you take pre-workout is definitely beneficial. I'd probably say BCAAs. I don't take those things. What do you guys think? How do you like your bacon cooked? Crispy, sloppy, it's all good. It's all good. I like it all. It's healthier for you if you don't burn the bacon, but crispy bacon's delicious too. Because it's bacon. It's awesome. Alexandra Prana. Favorite yoga pose currently? That's a good question. I don't have one. Actually, I don't know the name of this specific. I mean, your legs are folded under you, leaning back completely. It's great with a yoga wheel or just a regular stretch. Tom Platz loved that stretch. It's like a deep sissy squat, toes pointed. What would you call that one? It's not scorpion. I don't have a favorite yoga pose. I don't have one. I really don't. But I would say if there's one yoga pose that you practice, you could just do sun salutations, but probably a pigeon pose. Pigeon pose is probably going to be the best for most people, right? It's great for the lower back, great for the glutes, great for the hips. So, I mean, if you had to pick one stretch, which is so stupid, which one was, that's not what Alexandra's asking, but if you had one stretch you could do, and you could only do one yoga pose for the rest of your life, I hate those questions. Shavasana. Ellie's like just laying there and doing fucking nothing. Shavasana is probably the hardest one, to be honest. Most people can't lay there and just do nothing. Right? And Shavasana, I mean, you're not fidgeting. So I would say overall, the hardest classes to do is yin. Because if you're fidgeting during yin, that defeats the whole purpose of yin yoga. So holding a pose, not moving, just breathing. Most people just can't stop fidgeting, can't stop moving. All right. Maine Marshall, blowing it up. Appreciate the questions. Are all the, quote, experts wrong? Is it okay/healthy for me to eat a pound of grass-fed beef every day? Of course, considering the rest of my diet is good. Well, I do. I will say that if you have all these experts, I mean, really, even if it's like financial, nutritional, if you have people that are trying to censor and limit anyone like opinions of the contrary, usually it's because that's correct, right? Most of the experts are just indoctrinated. They're just told to say a certain thing and parrot it back. So if everyone is going one direction, like, no, you can't do that. No, this is the answer. This is the answer. Humans don't know what the fuck they're talking about. No one does. We're just doing the best we can with the information available. And most of the time, all the experts are going to flock to one thing that everyone's been programmed to say. So if everyone's going one direction, you should question why, no matter what it is. This is being more objective and thinking for yourself. Usually that hive mind, is a problem. Right? 100% safe and effective. Not one thing on the fucking planet. That was the biggest red flag of all the gene therapy and all the garbage with COVID and stuff. Is the 100% safe and effective. Not a single thing on the planet is 100% safe and effective. Nothing is. So to say that, the balls to just flat out fucking lie. It's absolutely not a single fucking thing is 100% safe and effective. I will say one thing. You will 100% not get pregnant if you don't ejaculate inside. Abstinence is 100% safe and effective. You can't get pregnant unless you put it inside. No one's just going to get fucking pregnant. But Jesus was an immaculate. Shut the fuck up. No one's getting pregnant for no reason, right? So that's the only thing that's probably 100%. If you don't put the PP in the vajayjay and send the baby batter, you're not getting pregnant. That's the only thing that's guaranteed. Everything else is nonsense. Am I using reverse video? Instagram's retarded. I can't flip the screen. So it's like, If I want to see the questions, I can't flip the screen. TikTok allows you to do it. Well, I don't know why you can't mirror the screen. So that's why the text is backwards. I don't know why Instagram is such a huge problem. I heard your beard has gotten women preggers. Shh. There's always exceptions to the rule, my guy. Yeah, fat burners. That's an overhyped one. Fat burners are definitely overhyped. All right, last chance for questions. Good stuff. Good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Actually, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Decent stuff. Oh, we got questions. We got a couple. We got a call. If you want to call into the show, by the way, you go to askpapaswolio.com and you can call into the show. Bring that up on the screen if you do have a call. So let's get into a call. We got one from Dick. Is this Mark? Dick Draft General? Let's see what we got.
What's up, your swoleness? Hope you're doing well as always.
Of course.
I had a question based off of some general curiosity. So I was reading an article about how mustard is great for your food and all the benefits that come with it.
The
I was
mustard.
just curious.
Mustard's
what
back.
is your take on it, and do you personally use it?
I like the question. I love how it's like, yeah. I love how it's like, do you use mustard? You know, I love how it's, are you a mustard user? Straight to the veins, bro. Some people do SARMs. Some people are doing peptides. People do test. I just inject mustard right into the asshole. I use mustard as a suppository, actually. It absorbs in the colon better. Try it, Mark. Let us know how it goes. That's the best place to consume mustard. You got 3 holes. Mustard douche. If you really want to make gains, don't do this, by the way. Just saying, don't do it. Someone's going to be like, oh, Papa Swolio said to put mustard in my butthole. Mustard douche. Mustard enema. Oh, it burns. Ah, it burns. The spicy Dijon. Fuck yeah. Ooh, you could. You could. Actually, no, this is true. You could. Mark says or asks, can I use it in a lube? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you could. Mustard enema or a lubricant. Sheena says it's sad you have to have that disclaimer. Yeah, what the fuck? You know what? Just try beating off with it. Try beating off with mustard. Oh, that's spicy. That's a spicy salchicha, bro. You're going to have to bust quick, dude. Oh, it's going to burn real fast. Oh, it stings. Oh, my dick is like ting. Oh, just thinking about it. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. What if that would help turn some of those purple-haired septum-pierced libtards? Mark, what do you think? The Dick Draft General. Just spray some Dijon on that. Spice it brown. I do have mustard sometimes. If we're making burgers, Mama Solio, we had the grass-fed and finished beef patties. Make some bacon. Put an egg on each one. We had some Yukon Gold roasted potatoes. Put a little ketchup. I didn't have mustard yesterday on it, but I like Dijon mustard. But I'll use it for burgers and stuff sometimes. I'm not against mustard. Just again, if you haven't eaten it, quality matters too. And just start with a little bit and see how you feel. Dijon Dick Draft. The Dijon Dick Draft. The DDD. Let's go. Let's get America for that one. I like it. All right. Gross. Let's take another call. We got one from John. Let's see if John's talking about anything. I mean, that went off the rails. Mark wasn't asking about the lube, but if you're on Instagram, come on over on Rumble and YouTube to hear the calls. All right, John, you're on the line.
I was just wondering about when I could start to see the number on the scale would start to go the opposite direction. Prior to joining Swole Enormous Fam, I had lost 170 pounds, and then since about March, April timeframe, I've just gained nothing. Like I've just hit 50 pounds in weight, so stronger than I ever have been, but I feel like the scale is going the wrong way. So should I add cardio? and I've done the elimination diet and all that stuff. So, just wondering how to speed up that process. Thank
I
you.
you're thanks for calling, John. You said you gained 50 pounds in like 2 months. Is that what you said? I know you're not on the phone. 50 pounds, and that's way too much. You're not putting on muscle there. You're putting on a lot of water and fat too. So it comes down, look, it comes down to if you're concerned about your body weight, that's like calories. But I'd be much more concerned with muscle mass. Are you getting stronger? If you put on 50 pounds, you're eating too much. You're eating too much. That's it. You're just eating too much. So are you getting stronger? I think you said you're stronger than you've ever been. That's great, but you're also eating too much. You're putting on you're putting on the water and the fat back. It also depends on what you're eating and what you were eating before and how much weight, like where you're at from a lean mass wise. But if you're putting on weight like that, look, it's normal to put on some weight if it's lean mass, but you don't want to put on body fat. You're not trying to gain weight, right? You want to build muscle. So building muscle means you need to be getting stronger. So ideally, you want to see the weight kind of stay the same or slightly decrease as you're getting stronger. If you're gaining a little weight and you're getting stronger, that's okay. You're putting on some muscle and you're going to maybe put on a little bit of water, maybe a little fat when you're building muscle. But if that number is going up too much, if you're gaining a pound or two a week or something like that, you're not putting on that much muscle. You're not putting on that muscle that quickly. So bottom line, you want to see your strength improving. So I would pay attention to what you're consuming. Are you tracking everything? So I appreciate the question, and I'm glad that you lost a lot of weight, and I'm glad you're enjoying the Swole fam and you're getting stronger, but you're also overeating, just period. So if you're losing weight and you're getting weaker, then you're probably not eating enough protein or carbohydrates. You might be cutting too many calories in terms of your training. So it's really important to have an idea actually objectively. I don't like people counting and over obsessing over, counting their calories, but in your situation, you should be aware, right? So I think if you're eating proper food, if you're doing elimination diet and you're eating quality nutrition, you generally don't have to track unless that's very important to you. Like for me, I don't track. I track loosely. I step on the scale, I track my weights, and if my strength is not improving, I cross-check that with what my body weight is. I'll weigh every couple days or a week or two just to get an idea of what my overall weight is. But I want to see my numbers going up with my strength training. So if you're gaining 50 pounds in like a month or two, that's mostly fat and water. So you're overeating. You were probably cutting a lot and doing all this other stuff. Then you start lifting weights, maybe building some muscle too, but you're just start stuffing your face again. That's what it sounds like. All right. Was that 2 months? Did you say March or something? April, May, June, even 4 months, 50 pounds? Like you're not putting on muscle that fast unless you're, no, you're not. You're just not. You're not putting on muscle that fast, period. 50 pounds of muscle, you're not going to put 50 pounds of muscle on unless you're doing it like you're new to the gym and you're not going to put on 50 pounds of muscle. You might do that over the course of a few years. All right. Main Marshal, is there room for career success and personal training without having a website, apps, and the whole existence of doing it via technology now? Just curious what you think. So you mean just going to a gym? Fitness and training and stuff, there's always going to be, there's always room, but AI and stuff like that, a lot of people and a lot of these like online businesses, if they don't have a niche or a specific approach, like that's why Swolenormous X is successful. And I feel like it always will be because we standardize the approach to fitness. We have the 7 pillars, we have the fundamental principles for a variety of people. And we have programs and yoga and all the master classes and things that will benefit a wide range of people coming into the Swole fam. But there's a lot of nutritional programming, and if you're just doing like a generic thing online, you're going to get phased out with AI and a lot of other stuff. So is there room for success without having a website? That depends on how you still need to advertise. Like you still need to get, it's a business. So if you're in a gym, is there enough traffic? Are you advertising local? Like how are people going to know that you're a personal trainer? And it depends on what you mean by career success. So if you're working for a gym, let's say you work for Crunch Fitness, can you make a living? Depends on where you are, depends on your expenses and all this kind of stuff. Depends on what you think of it, right? It depends on what you're looking to get out of it. But then you're working for a gym, they're getting 70%, whatever. You're getting paid an hourly rate or whatever it is, or you're renting gym space, but you still need to get clients. How are you acquiring clients? And you could also do both. You can do a combination. There's always room because quality does matter, but the place or where technology is going, it's going to automate a lot of these jobs in terms of programming. But there's always going to be people that need someone in person or that will require that. So there's just a lot of, it depends on what you mean by career success. And why wouldn't you have a website? Why wouldn't you have a place? It's like a business card. Like, why would you not have something that you can advertise locally or hand someone a card or someone can check out your site and they can sign up for a session or they can see testimonials and stuff like that? You don't necessarily need an app if you have in-person clients. And the great thing about technology is you can advertise locally. You can advertise specifically to a 5 or 10 mile radius around the gym. And you can advertise on Facebook. You can advertise on Instagram. So you can do that. So I guess the question is, how are you going to acquire clients? And what does success mean to you in this respect? Do you just want to have more of like a custom schedule? Is this in supplementation to your other job? Is this part-time? So the thing is with in-person training is you're trading your time for money. So you can train 10 hours a day. It's very exhausting. 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay. 11 hours a day, 12 hours a day, whatever that is. So doing something online or having the ability to, like, what we have inside Swolenormous X, we could have a place where everyone can use the content unlimited, and the content that I create and that we create as a community can benefit everyone at the same time. So it's just a maximization of resources. Maine says, I understand the advertising. I just meant an in-depth app and just getting customers through an app. Well, I mean, you don't need an app. If you're an in-person trainer, you don't need an app. We just launched this app because I liked the website it was mobile optimized. So we didn't need an app, but it makes it even better. This is an easier interface to access the content. But you could still go to the website, right? So the website was mobile optimized. The good thing is now websites are mobile optimized. So you can open up your phone, you go to the website, and it's almost designed like a mobile app. It's very easy to use. So you don't need an app itself. Having a website is great for advertising, but some people just have like an Instagram page. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. It really depends. It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So you don't necessarily need a website. You can have someone DM me. You're like, hey, DM me for coaching, DM me for training. But what I would recommend, if you have like an Instagram page, for example, just make sure you're tagging your location, because the algorithm will show your location and your stuff to people locally. So there's benefits if you're doing a local business using like the location tag, like the gym you train at or the area or the city or whatever, and just making sure you're tagging your location, because then it'll hit other people in that location, or it'll feed your content more to people locally. If you're doing in-person stuff, that matters. And if you're doing local advertising, that's a very specific area. You can advertise within a certain location radius, because you don't want, if you're living in Kansas, you don't need to advertise personal training unless you're doing digital and online coaching and stuff. You don't need to advertise to someone in Washington. You could just advertise locally. How to gain muscle and lose fat, get stronger, and don't eat shit. All right, last chance for questions. Last chance for questions. We'll get into a couple releases and we'll have a throwback. We do have a throwback. Thomas, how do I track my workouts? I use a composition book. I like physical. And we have a journal section inside the Swolenormous app. If you want to download the app, you can click the link in bio and check out memberships, swolenormousx.com. You can download the Swolenormous app, give it a look-see. But I personally track the workouts. And we have a masterclass in the Swolenormous app where I explain how I track my workouts. And you can track it. I like the composition book because I like pen and paper. And then I can customize and write what I want, how I want. Pencil and paper. I use pen, but pencil's okay. But pencil can be erased. But pencil's not bad if you erase things, but I like pen. I'll just crush it out and move on. All right. Let's see. Fam, if you're watching on Instagram, come on over to Rumble and YouTube. We got a little bit more for the show. We got some new releases for members, and we'll get into a throwback. Yeah, it's good to highlight and stuff too. Yeah. All right. Thanks for being here, Beaches. Appreciate you. Come catch the rest of the show. Discard that video. Discard the fuck out of it. Super solid. All right. Let's get into a couple releases. Let's see. We got a new recipe this week. Let's get into it. Who's ready? We're looking fancy. No Dijon. I guess you could put Dijon on this. Pesto grilled shrimp. Pesto is probably the most overrated thing. Come on. Fucking pesto. Seriously. But grilled shrimp, it's all right. Grilled shrimp is okay. It's okay.
I gave it
it's all right.
a 10. A 10. A fucking 10.
It's all right, dog. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Pesto grilled shrimp. Where my shrimp fams at? Huh? Where my shrimpers be at? Where you at, son? Where you at? Shrimp fam? Yeah? How about this as a side or an appetizer, and then you have your steak? So you got the skewers. Look, we got no zooks on here, right? No zooks. There's no, Alex says, no merch today. No merch today. No new merch. We did a bunch last week, so no new merch today. I want to focus on the zip hoodies and all the stuff. I want zip hoodies. We got the fanny packs. Have you guys picked up a zip hoodie or a fanny pack? Those are awesome. I'm really stoked to get mine in. So we had a lot of merch. We had the 1776% natty. We got all those designs. So we overloaded last week. I didn't want to spread it out. So you have a couple weeks of merch release last week. We really went all in on that. So go check that out. Pesto grilled shrimp. He's fantastic. We got some featured classes. Let's see what we got in the app. We got Swolga for hips. There we go. We have Swole in 7 Steel Club Round 4 and Maximum Swole Chest number 1. So dope city on that one. Pam says, I got a fanny pack in my cart. Just got to order it. Yeah, get that shit in there. Where's my app stuff? Where's my... Yeah, we got zip hoodies. Actually, you know what? Because I don't have the... Instead of bringing up all the images, let me just bring up the page. It's easier. Sometimes the page gets closed. I'll hit like Control W. papaswirlio.com. Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got the new products that are about to launch. By the way, remember I was saying that the main gains and all the stuff, like the labels, we were trying to finalize that. Just got the final test in from the labels, and they look great. So we're really like on the brink of launching all the hair skin, the main gain scalp seed, and the bowl cream. So that's coming like, we're right on target for like the beginning of August or the end of this month. So the labels look great. They really do look great. I'm really glad for that. So super stoked. Yeah, here we go. Look at these new releases. So we did like 3 last week. So 1776% natty. Look at those fanny packs. Excellent. And zip hoodies. So really cool. We got a bunch of different designs here. Let's see what we got so far. We're adding new ones. So we got the Swole since birth, America's zip hoodie, back to the fucking gym, Cybertruck. So we got some really cool designs. And they're front and back print. So the price includes the front and back printing. We got fanny packs. Look at these. We have the D's nuts. We got the D's. That might be the best one. The bottom left. The D's nuts. Perfect space. Perfect place for the D's nuts. Yeah. Yeah, you did not release merch. We're not going to be doing, we might be doing every other week or once a month. We're not doing new releases as often. We're shifting attention to some other things, but we will be getting, we have a lot of, by the way. So it really depends. And it's going to be better because we're focusing a lot on, we have a lot of designs. So this way we actually are able to create more designs because we have a lot more that's being worked on, and we're eliminating that kind of like buffer and like the pressure. I would say pressure, but like the deadlines. So the merch is going to be, we have a lot in, because sometimes we have to send them back and this, that, and the other, and it's not a good use of some of the energy. So we have a lot of other stuff we're trying to do. So we're still going to have a lot of merch. We're probably just going to have certain weeks where we have 1 or 2, but we have a lot of designs that are being worked on. A lot of designs are being worked on. So when we have a good one, we launch it. So definitely shifting the focus a little bit. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. We have a bunch. Don't worry. We're not stopping making merch, but sometimes we'll have like 1 or 2 and they're close, and I refuse to release something when it's not 100% ready. If I want to tweak something, and actually one of the recent ones we would have had ready, but we were doing some editing for it. And then the program quit. So what happened was the program quit, and then it didn't autosave. So the design had to be like, cause we tweaked it all ourselves in-house. We got the design and we had to tweak some things, and then the program quit, didn't autosave. So now it has to be redone, and we're making it a little bit more flexible. That way we can focus on the most important things. So over stressing it just to get it done and get it out, I want it to be good. So trust me, the merch has never missed, but we're on to more things. We got a lot of stuff in the works. So getting the main gains and those products done, getting those labels done. Again, if we're focusing on too many different things, that's why a lot of times with the business over the years, we'll have something that we do for a while, then we kind of cut it or leave it off to the side because you can't do everything all the time. And it's really important. That's one of the, pros and cons. I don't want too many things going on, too many things floating around, and then nothing gets done to 100%. So we have to make sure we focus our attention on the most important things. All right. And it's got to be done well. We got new yoga. Yin for inner thighs with a tennis ball. Ooh.
Hi, puppy.
That's nice. That's very nice. Enjoy that. Yin for inner thighs with a tennis ball. All right. So we got 2 more releases. And Cerny says, forget the label. I don't have enough time left. We'll get it for you. Cerny, don't forget, you get to save an additional 15% off with AARP. So we got you. We got you. And you know what it is too? This is something separate. But sometimes I would get so many new merch that I can't film with all of it. And one of the things that I've found just by reflecting on it a little bit, pumping the brakes and looking and overlooking stuff from the business aspect of it. There are many shirts that we've released, and you probably noticed it, that I've never filmed with because we just kept on. There's so many things, and I have so many shirts, and there's so many designs that we've printed that we've had that I'm like, I see them in my closet. I've never even filmed with that because we just kept on having so many. I couldn't film with all that. We can't edit all the videos. We can't post all those. So going through and actually like this. I heart cow farts. This hasn't gotten a lot of time in the sun. So I'm going back and wearing a lot of the ones because we have hundreds of designs already. And a lot of them have never really even gotten enough attention. So I'm going through a lot of the classics to wear them. You know, I have a lot of larges, so I'm trying to lean out a little bit so I can wear some of the larges again, because some of the extra larges, you know, I don't want to get every design in an extra large. So I want to make sure I fit into some of these larges so we can still wear them, stretch them out a little bit. That's what she said. By the way,
What's in the box?
new section. You guys might have noticed it this weekend. Now you'll notice on the Spotify or Apple Podcast, where are the weekend episodes? Where the fuck are they? They are members only now. So these are weekend episodes. They're members only. This past weekend was audio only. Sometimes it might be video too, keeping it casual, answering questions. I definitely want to do things where, you know, you guys go over to askpapasoya.com and ask a question or a topic, and then I address that in the weekend episode. So there's gonna be some cool stuff. So if I reach out asking you to call in, whether it's a topic, whether it's a question, we're gonna have some variety there over the weekend. So, you know, I was doing some of these weekend episodes on Spotify and this, that, and the other, but you know, obviously the weekly shows and the video shows generally do better. And I think it's better off and better time used for members. I want to make sure that all the energy, and again, a lot of the energy, sure, we got to advertise, we got to market, all the videos are marketing, but I want to make sure that from a business standpoint, and this has been true for this whole year, especially, you know, a lot of it went for merch for a while, and there's different phases. If you have a business, you know, there's different phases, there's different seasons, the algorithms change, AI is a whole different kind of like new ripple in the ocean. So I want to make sure that always that Swolenormous X, the app, members, all that needs to get the main focus all the time. So it's very easy for things to sometimes become a distraction, and sometimes there are things that are good, that are beneficial, but the amount of effort and the time, there's only so much time, there's only so much effort, there's only so much creativity, and funneling that into the right places, that's going to move the needle, that's going to give the most value for members and stuff like that. Moving the business forward is very important. So anytime we shift things or change things, this is what we do. We've always done it. We've always made hard pivots and done stuff. And that's the benefit. And that's what I've always wanted this business to be, is something where it can change, it can adjust very nimbly on a dime. And yeah, there might be things that people like a certain way that they remember and they reminisce, and things can come back and things fluctuate. But you guys are all here because you also do understand that there's change and things pivot. So there's always something new and a new way of doing things. And we're always trying different things. But the main focus is always members driven. So the weekend episodes, just posting a couple minutes. Some people might see it, some people might not. I want to make sure it's members driven. So we're going to keep that inside Swolenormous X. So you'll see the weekend episodes, you'll see numbers. Anytime there's something missing from like the stream and stuff like that, I just didn't feel like doing it and just posting something on Spotify just to have it track there. It's like, no, I'd rather do something that's more members oriented, kind of like masterclass oriented, kind of like masterclass a certain topic, something casual, personal, behind the scenes. So asking you guys questions and stuff and then addressing them in like a members only episode and having it in the app where you can track it, where you can categorize it. And that's in Swole TV. So we'll have that on the homepage for new releases, but also if you go to Swole TV, you'll see all the members only, the weekend episodes. So, and speaking of members only, we got one more release, so you'll find that in the app.
What's in the box?
And then we also have, guess what? Speaking of members, I can't believe we're still in the 80s, but we got Rise and Swole this Thursday, July 24th at 9:30. You see that? Oh, where we go. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of the time and the investment. You know, we're the Swole fam, so we got to make sure that we're all making gains, and new members coming in, we assimilate people and everyone kind of gets to know each other and focus on making the app better and better. And there are some new things that we're going to be reworking and redoing and updating and tweaking, and it never ends, right? So we're here for a reason, and we're going to keep on trying to do the best for all of you that are a huge part of this. And you're the reason why we can do this. So more members only content, more members driven content, more stuff. I really like that idea for, that was a great masterclass prompt. Someone asked about the wide grip pull downs. And of course we have a lot of stuff in X, and I want to make sure, like, there might be some contradictions here and there, stuff that I made 9 years ago. Oh, well, this video says this, and I do understand that. So I'm not going to go delete old content, I'm not going to delete old content and then, oh, let me redo this. Everything's there. It's just like the history. There's so much stuff there, and so many things are interlinked and interwoven, but to re-update and just to do, even if it's the same content kind of again, just like a new approach to it, that's really important to give more perspective, because even after doing all this stuff for years and decades my entire life, I still learn things and I still come up with different tweaks and different approaches. So, maybe in another few years, we do another masterclass on wide grip pull down, and hey, here's another little tweak you can do. And sometimes there's multiple masterclasses because I'll cover different topics in different masterclasses. So I could do 5 hack squat masterclasses depending on the topic. So it's always nice to kind of like recoat over things, even what what you think Oh, cool. I'm checking, updating you on things that I do. And that's really what the masterclass is all about. So anyway, off topic from what's on the screen, but Rise and Swole this Thursday, July 24th, 9:30 a.m. Zoom call, and the link will be there on the homepage. Let me bring up the app for a second. Just to give you guys so right there, I can't wait. Like, look at these. That looks awesome in terms of a supplement, Anyway. So right there, my go-to supplements and my approach to the elimination diet and the psychology behind the elimination diet. So you click on it and you just play, right there on the bottom, and we got comments on it. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys keep on commenting. And I really do want to encourage that. And I guess I got to keep on like mentioning it, but we do have like Pam commented, on the most recent one. But when you like a video or you try a new, a class or a yoga class, make sure you hit the comment section, right? Make sure you hit the comment section, and then I can get in there. I can hit reply, and I will get into those. But make sure you leave a comment. Be like, even if it's something simple like, hey, I love this episode. This is great, or like, hey, what do you think about this? Let me ask a follow-up question for maybe a future episode. So make sure that you definitely comment, because I see them. And of course, it'll also encourage other people to comment, and of course, give people feedback like, oh, let me check this out. Everyone really liked this one. So I definitely appreciate, and make sure if you do a yoga class and you liked it, even if it's just like, I love this class. Thanks, Alex. Just drop the comment, because it helps. And it really helps other members, or like, this really helped with my back pain. And someone else might see that and be like, oh, cool. Let me try it out. Let me check it out. So comment, engage, interact, helps a lot. So yeah, look at this ad. It's fucking great. And if you go to, at the top, if you go to Swole TV, you'll see it right there at the top. So right here, members only episodes for the weekend. Then we do have the overtime segments. We got the DWG Uncensored round. Or is that loading up? Yeah, round tables are here. I might move the round tables up a little higher, but I might move the round tables up a little bit higher in the thing. But Swole TV has like all that kind of content, all the bonus content, right? Uncensored videos, some balls deep edits and things like that. So really cool. And yeah, we got a lot of new people joining. We got a lot of, people coming in, and, having everything in one place and having the app has just been such and understand, like, for those of you that might just be new, this app, I mean, some of you, when did you guys join? Because a lot of you have joined, you've been here for 2 years or 5 years, and some of you even like 7 or 8 years. That we've been through many iterations. We've been through, like, we had like the website, and then what do we do? Like, we redid the website like 2 or 3 times, which is a shitload of fucking work. And then we launched new programs, and we got to like kind of redo the program section, because now we're doing these types of things. And then we have the app, and the app only launched really, I think it launched like November, but December. So we're kind of like really, and we're trying to update the app and fix some of those little quirks and stuff like that over time. But the app is new. I mean, I don't know how long you can keep on saying a brand new Swolenormous app, but 6 months, man, from a business standpoint, 6 months is nothing. So it's also humbling to see how far it's come. And it's just like, it feels like the app has been here forever. It really does. But it's really only been since this year. Hombre de la Mort had problems finding the link to your Amazon supplement. We're redoing the Amazon, but did you check the bar? If you go to the sidebar at the top, Amazon links are right there. And some of these products need to be updated, but so it's right there. Amazon links right there on the side. Yeah. Getting it to work, just click on it. Did that not work for you? And might be putting it somewhere else. Might be putting it somewhere else, but it's right there in the sidebar. But anyway, the app is really 6 months old, so we're really continuing. And now, because it's so different than the site in terms of having everyone and right there in the place, so now it's still like developing and, you know, because I don't want to redo the entire thing. Can't redo everything. But now when the app is here, now we're making subtle tweaks, re-looking at it. Okay, when we have new members coming in, we're on the home page. You know, what's a better way that we can onboard? And that takes time, recording videos and restructuring things and here and there. And of course, when you load up the app, for example, you know, you don't want to, for example, from like an app standpoint, you know, you don't want, I mean, I want the Get Started series here, but you don't want it so big that like every time someone who's been a member for 5 years sees all this stuff that like they don't use. So you want to make sure that it's, I mean, that's the challenge too, is making something that is great for someone who's just joined for the first time and something that's not over repetitive for someone who's been a member for 5 years. Like you don't want to see the standard things that you never use. So we have stuff that's kind of like a combination. So it's really threading the needle, making sure that it's optimal for most people. And then as we can make changes and as things come up, we can add them and shift them around. So there's a lot more stuff coming and it just takes time. And I always appreciate the feedback. You know, if you have an issue or you have something you want to see, like with a masterclass, again, the energy and the effort and the time needs to be, you know, prioritized towards members and towards the app and towards the business, which is why I've been focusing on just getting these products launched, like the main gains and stuff. That's huge. That's been a big undertaking. That's been going on for months. So finally looking like we're going to get that launched. And then after that, cool. Now that's up and running. We can move on to, and we have other products, actually. We have other products that are in the works. So it's not just going to be these three. We have other things that are being developed. So it's going to be really cool. Sheena says, I used to spend a lot of time chatting in the Telegram, but it was hard to keep up with all the different groups. So now I just hang out in the app community section. Well, we just have the Telegram. We have one. A while ago, we had different chats. We had the beauty chat, and then we had Red, White, and Swole, but those haven't been monitored for a while. Some of you are still in them probably. But again, we tried different things, and then it was like too much to juggle and to direct people. So we just kind of went down to just like the Swole fam chat. Just one chat, and then we have the community section. And what I do like, kind of what Sheena's referring to, remember, Telegram is just like a constant running chat. So when you go to the chat, it's great to be like, yo, what up? And post it's cool to keep it casual. Post a meme, post a GIF, here's a link, and people are just fucking around chilling. But there's no way to really anchor and like organize and go and check stuff out. I mean, I'm sure there's different Telegram features if you're really adept to it. But the good thing about the community section is that it's not like other social media apps where it's algorithmed. You know, if someone posts something, you see it. If they posted something 2 days ago, you go back to 2 days, it's there. You don't just get shown certain things, and it could be there. It's permanent, and you can, you know, really kind of categorize things a little bit better. So it's cool. It's kind of like what a Facebook feed used to be. You follow someone, you see a post, and you see it timeline and organized. So I really like the community section, and I really enjoy, like, we got all the, you know, and it's great. And you guys are posting on it regularly and checking it out there. It's like, it's super cool. We got look at all the stuff. I mean, really good stuff. You can scroll through for a day, you know, and go through that. And of course, you know, as we come up with new versions of the app and make adjustments, that's going to be even better. So the app is only going to get better, which is great. This is just the foundation. And you might see certain user interface tweaks and adjustments and stuff. It's just part of the process. Some things we'll do that are like, that's not as good as it was. Sometimes we can't go back and revert. Sometimes we can. So it's just going to keep on. And sometimes the community section, and we're working on that. I've been pissed about that for months, Ellie. Sometimes when you open the app for the first time, the community section doesn't load for some reason. Just exit out, close the app, and open up again. Usually it works. I don't know what that is. I'm not a coder, but trying to fix that. It could be something with like an iOS issue, right? I mean, and again, this is why in the past I didn't want to fuck with apps too much, but now they're a lot better. Because sometimes the stability, you have a micro update, it's iOS 16.2.1, and then the fucking app doesn't work as well. And if you have people that are on Android, you have people that are on different iOSs, you have people trust me, behind the scenes, like an app and maintaining the functionality on, it's not just iOS, it's on Android, it's in the App Store with compliance, it's, all the different terms and conditions and developer shit. Like if you ever did stuff with apps and stuff and you're in like the Apple developer section, it's like a fucking different language. It's some wild shit. I'm telling you, it's just above my pay grade, So again, it's different when you like have control. And that's what I liked about and again, that's the benefit of having the site. We can go in there and we tweak things, but there's limitations to just having the site. So the benefits and the usability of the app, but then the ability for us to like get into the code and update it, we need other professionals and stuff that can really micro manage that in detail. So it'll get better. And again, it's just, it's been 6 months. So I have been fucking pushing on that with the community section. So it does work. You exit out usually the second time. A lot of times the first time I open it, the community might not load up. It just says, log out and come back in, or not log out, but exit out and come back in, and then it's fine. So I've never had issues more than like, I close it out, open it up, and it's fine. And most people are the same. So yeah, you can send us an email and we'll see about your specific issue. But for most accounts, like for me, it's like, close it out and upload it and load up again, and then it's fine. But sometimes those things can get wonky. So pros and cons, there's always pros and cons. So that's one of the cons of having an app. Sometimes for whatever reason, it could be the history. It could be, again, fuck if I know, but that was one of the hesitations in the past, but it got to the point where I was like, cool, this is time. So for the most part, it's a win. And then we'll tweak on those things. So I'm sorry you're having an issue with it, but we are aware, and I've been frustrated with that for a little bit. So a little bit of an inconvenience, but at least it does load. So maybe we can, what really does help, Ellie? If you send us an email, this is what really does help, because some people might have an issue, but if you're having a continuous one, getting all the details of your specific issue, like what's your iOS, what's this, and getting those details, that can be even though it's kind of like n=1, it's just your personal experience. It could be something that's like foundational that we can make an adjustment. Like, that's if you're having a specific issue, having like that specific, knowing what the version number is and all this kind of stuff can help figuring it out. But yeah, it's like that when you have, because again, it's not just on iOS, it's Android, and there's so many different. And don't forget, like with your phone, you have a lot of other apps, right? You have a lot of other apps and other things that interact, and kind of like other things can have other issues with other apps because you have other stuff on your phone and different memory and different other limitations. And who knows? Again, there's a lot of different moving pieces and things that could be fine on one person's phone, and then a couple other people that are having an issue for whatever reason. Yeah, send it out because it'll help. All this detail helps. And if we can send more information like, hey, this is an issue too, it could be something more specific that maybe instead of saying, because we're messaging them like, hey, sometimes the community app, when you open it, it doesn't work. So from you can imagine from their standpoint, they might look at this and be like, well, it's supposed to work. I don't know why. And they're looking at it like, okay, if we get some more specific, maybe it's like, oh, maybe that's different. Let's change that. And then maybe it's better for everyone. So sometimes it's, if we don't have specifics, sometimes it's hard to get into the code and know exactly, oh, maybe it's this version in compliance. And then we upload some new patch. And then, I don't know. Again, that's kind of, don't you dare start blaming Androids. I don't have to blame Androids. They blame themselves, you green bubble fucking psychopaths. Is it your, you have an Android? Oh, that's why. Ellie has an Android. Write it off. Write it off. It's an Android. It's an Android. It's an Android. God, why didn't you say so? Why didn't you say so? It's a fucking Android. Whining. Of course you have a problem. You should have opened with this. But my Android, I have a problem, aka I have an Android. Well, there's your problem. No, I have an iPhone. I have the same issue sometimes. So again, it's not something I can go in, which, you know, when you own a business and you're running it, it's like, I can go in and like tweak it, but then I depend on someone who knows the fucking code. But what's cool is I don't have to worry about Apple compliance and all that stuff. Cause trust me, like setting up the app and doing all this stuff, it's wild shit. So I'm appreciative that there are people out there that know what the fuck is going on. Ellie says, of course I have an Android. I'm not retarded. Ooh, you saying that Apple's retarded? Oh, I have an iPhone. My wife is still on Android though. How do you handle that? That's like having a different political belief and cultural beliefs. Ooh, how can you be with someone that doesn't have? Oof. Okay, I can't imagine texting Mama Swole and seeing a green bubble. All the IT people I know hate iPhones. Yeah. Everyone's going to have their preference. It'd be easier if everyone used the same type of phone, the same operating system. So that's another issue, is you're trying to do something with a certain user interface. It's going to look different on an Android and look different on an iPhone, and it's going to work different. So again, this is something that can, oh, we got a lot of Apple haters out there. All right. It's fine. It's totally fine. Let's give the Swole card. We're going to pretend like a lot of the Swole fam. We're going to pretend like the Swole fam's on Apple. No one's on Android, right? Who fucking Android? Come on. Apple's a scam. Prove me wrong. Ugh, I don't know. At this point, you guys know if you use an iPhone, like, no, I'm not changing. I'm not going through. I did at one point. I had an iPhone, and then I went to like a Samsung Galaxy, one of the earlier ones. And yeah, I was very happy to go back to an iPhone. But of course, I mean, it's different for me in this situation because my computer's an Apple. So it's, you know, you want to keep things consistent generally. Apple is a master race. I'm a fruitist. Cerny's on Jitterbug. That's right. Yeah. Whatever works for you. And hey, that's a beautiful thing, is that we have it. It works for iOS and Android for the most part, apparently. All right, let's give away the Swole card. Thanks for being here. Enjoy those new releases. We got the Swole Fam Roundtable on Thursday. I Heart Cow Farts. Let's give this bitch away, huh? Falcon, pick me a winner. At least there's something for everyone, right? There's something for everyone. Who loves cow farts the most? A lot of you love cow farts. Oh, we got a winner. Martial Arts Mama loves cow farts. Ooh, that's freaky. Freaky deaky. M-A-M. You know what I like? I like how Martial Arts Mama, it's ma'am. It's ma'am. It's ma'am. I need to hit there's a soundboard there.
I'm totally comfortable in my body. I just don't want to be in pain.
I don't know why I hit that one. It has nothing to do with you, Martial Arts Mama. It felt right. My kids are going to love this one. Hell yeah. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 33663. Congrats, ma'am. It's ma'am. Oh, geez. Ellie says every trash can has its lid. For fuck's sake. All right, we're gonna sign off before someone says something that they regret. I could feel it. I could feel like everyone's like joking around, like, yeah, well, how come you're a piece of shit? It's starting to get serious. It's like when you're saying something as a joke, but you're serious, someone's gonna get offended soon. Actually, it's a Swole fam. No one gets offended. No one gets offended. People are just gonna get more aggressive. So we have to wrap this up before it gets even worse. We'll take it. How about this? We'll take it into the Telegram chat. You guys can go sling feces in the Telegram chat. Well, thanks for being here, Beaches. Appreciate you. Let's see. I tore down for the last few days. It's been exhausting because it's been hot as fuck outside, but I've been tearing down my canopies and we're putting up a metal canopy, like a metal carport of sorts. So redesigning and building. And FYI, when you get one of these, structures and stuff, usually you have a clear area. Well, I'm building this shit over commercial gym equipment. So it's been interesting. It's been interesting and fun, but looking forward to it. It's just been so hot. The perfect time to go outside and do some heavy labor in Florida. The perfect time is when it's mid-July and hot as fuck. It's like a heat wave. It's like, yeah, great. So I'm trying to do it like early in the morning and like 5, 6 p.m. because it's brutal hot. Brutal hot. Yeah. So this isn't, it's not anything, because it's also, you got to be careful, because if you're doing certain things, it's going to be, the initial investment with what you're building. Plus you got to make sure it's not at risk for like permits and other kinds of issues. There's things you can work around with that. And, yeah, just the canopies were great. But they were pop-up canopies. They're meant for flea markets. They're not meant for long-term. And one of the problems is it's not so much the canopies when you first buy them. It's when you get replacement tops, they sag and then they bend in and they can break, and then you get water pooling. So this is going to make a big difference, at least up to like 100+ miles an hour. So if we get a category 3 or 4, shit's fucked anyway, so it doesn't matter. But then, if you're building an extended like walk-on roof or something on a property, you guys know, like when you're attaching something, then it's like under air and it's different types of like livable space, permitting, property taxes, like all shit can go crazy if you do permanent structures. So, it can get pretty gnarly, and building materials and labor and shit's just crazy. So doing something simple, it's been fun. It's been fun so far. It's going well, but we're looking to get a little bit of rain the next couple of days. So I have to tarp the equipment and then finish. But man, hot, like mid 90s and just sunny, no clouds. So just cooking, roasting nips. It's really hard to sauna in the summer. I know the sauna is so beneficial, and I'm trying to do the sauna, but it's hard to do both. You don't really need the sauna if you're outside in like long sleeves and pants. Your body is a sauna. Let's see. Got any flooding? Flooding's no good. What I'm appreciative is that we don't have flooding in this area. We don't get flooding. We're near like not a ravine, but like a stream. So we don't get flooding, and the ground drains like really quick. So anytime there's rain, it's like sand. So it absorbs. I don't get any flooding. So even though the machines are on the ground, I might try to lift a couple of them off the ground a little bit. But doing like permanent flooring, that's a whole other thing. So I might do it piecemeal as long as the machines, for example, as long as the machines are balanced and even and I can lift with them, I don't really care about the flooring. But it's nice that we have a lot of drainage. So even if it floods and it rains, like it doesn't sit in water. It absorbs really quickly. But some areas in Florida, like if it rains anywhere close to hard, you have a river. So I'm glad we don't have any road flooding and stuff like that, which is great. Some areas I've lived in some areas of Florida where the flooding is so bad, you just can't drive, which is really, that's a mess. So I'm glad that where we live, it's not we don't get those kinds of like standing water floods. So we have good drainage, which I'm grateful for. So it's really just a UV. You don't want the machines cooking in the UV. And by the way, it's metal. So if there's sun hitting them directly, which is why the overhang is the most important. It's like, I just can't use them. You burn your hand and everything gets super fucking hot. So it's really the UV light. And Florida is so unique with the sun. It's just, the sun is so hot, it'll just destroy stuff. So you really want to keep it from getting too wet, and keeping the sun off it is important. And lubricate. Lube up, fam. That's good advice. Lube up. All right, Beaches, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow for 3364. Enjoy those new releases. Go pick up a fanny pack. Go pick up a zip-up hoodie. Go get some sun on your nips and go to the fucking gym. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Yeah, boy. Papa Swole. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't left and they so mad, it's like...
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Ay, yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my